Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome to my channel, It's the Cat's Life. For this video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the San Diego Comic-Con because if you're like me, you didn't go. So, I am going to be going over just some of the big things that happened. That way you aren't missing out on all the big releases. Because it was a very, very huge event for Warner Brothers and DC. Not so much Marvel. Marvel was kind of non-existent there as far as, well, movies go. They released a few things about like TV shows, which I'll get into. Also, Star Wars wasn't there. They also talked about TV shows, nothing at all about the movies. So Disney and Marvel and Star Wars just kind of wasn't there, which was really interesting. A lot of people were very disappointed, but let me tell you, Warner Brothers hit the ball out of the park. It was a very, very big day Saturday. Also, besides Warner Brothers, there was a lot of announcements from Cartoon Network, which were really big. So I've done a bunch of research, kind of read up on what was going on, watched some of the videos. Everything I talk about in this video will have a link to the trailer or to the panel. That way you can see firsthand what's going on. I'm just giving you a little bit of an overview so that you can kind of see what's going on, what happened, what you missed out on, and what you can look forward to. Also, I'd just like to say thank you for watching this so far. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel, gave this video a like, and go ahead and check out some of my other videos because I do vlogs and sketch comedy. If you have any suggestions as to what I should do for the next video, I'd love to hear them in the comments. I also will have my Instagram and my Twitter link in the description, so you can go ahead and check out what I do when I'm not doing these videos, because I've been doing a lot of work lately, a lot of background work. Background acting, if you don't know what that is, I'm one of those people in the TV show. They're just like sitting in the background drinking coffee or whatever they have me doing. So I've been doing a lot of that lately. I'm getting ready to go back to school because schools are coming up. And yeah, that's kind of what's going on in my life. But this video is not about what I'm doing in my life. It's about the San Diego Comic-Con. So let's get started. So, as I mentioned before, it was a very, very big day for Warner Brothers, so I'm going to start by talking about Godzilla, King of All Monsters. So, this is the second installment of the Skull Island series. Is it called the Kong Skull Island series? Just so you know, I do have a notebook full of notes. I'm not sure if you can see it. I've done all sorts of notes on this and research. I think they're calling the series Skull Island, maybe. Anyway, Kong Skull Island is the first installment of this franchise, I guess you could call it, and Godzilla is the second one. They've been talking about the third one being Godzilla versus King Kong, which will be really cool. Kong Skull Island took place in, let me check my notes so I have this right. It takes place in the 70s. It stars Brie Larson, Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson, a bunch of huge names. It's a really great movie. Highly recommend it if you haven't watched it. But Godzilla, the new one that's coming out May 31st of 2019, that one will take place in modern day, going through an apocalypse and how the earth is dying, and so they have to get these titans who are Godzilla, Mothra, why am I blanking? I grew up watching Godzilla, so I shouldn't be blanking. Anyway, all the monsters are going to be there. It'll be really cool. They've talked about one character being brought back from the first movie, which means that character is going to be much, much older since the first movie took place in the 70s and now it's modern times. So there's been rumors that it's going to be Tom Hiddleston. I'm not sure. I think it might be one of the scientists, but we will see. Check that out. They'll probably be dropping more trailers as time goes on. Again, the release date is May 31st, 2019. The trailer to that will be in my description, so make sure you check that out because it looks like a great movie. So, continuing on with Warner Brothers, let's talk about The Crimes of Grindelwald. That is the second in the 5-part series for Fantastic Beasts, which is a part of the Harry Potter world, the Wizarding world. Huge Harry Potter fan, grew up reading the books, watching all the movies, loved the first Fantastic Beasts movies. It was fun, and this one looks much, much darker. They're going to be fighting Grindelwald. It'll be like Newt versus Grindelwald. Teton will be there. Jacob comes back, which I'm so excited. Queenie will be there. It has young Dumbledore, and it'll be showing, the trailer actually shows Dumbledore and Newt together in their defense against the dark arts class, where Newt's worst fears working in an office, which I thought was really cute. Also, it shows Nicholas Flamel in the trailer, and that's it's so cool because he's really a key character in the Harry Potter franchise, so it's really cool to see that connection going on. This movie will take place in 1927 Paris. The first movie took place in 1926 New York, and all 5 movies will be taking place in different parts of the world, so we'll see where they go next after they do Paris. That'll be really interesting. We all know that or maybe you don't know, that's totally fine, that's why I'm telling you right now, that Grindelwald wasn't defeated until 1945 by Albus Dumbledore, so we will see how much time will pass in between the movies and where they will be going to next. All very exciting. We also saw that Credence Barebone returns. Not quite sure how, but he was in the trailer, so yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they work his character back in, or how he comes back, because he was the Obscurus in the first movie, and he was destroyed. So we thought, so maybe he wasn't destroyed. He comes back, maybe he's a ghost, or didn't look like a ghost. We'll just have to wait and see when the movie comes out. I think that's all I have on Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. That one will be interesting. I'm very excited for that because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. Gryffindor for life. Comment below what house you belong in, because I'd love to hear that, but I'm a Gryffindor. Gotta show some house pride. Okay, so moving on, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about Bumblebee for a little bit. In the trailer, it does show like the silhouette of Optimus Prime. It stars John Cena, Haley Steinfeld, Travis Davis is the director. He also directed Kubo and the Two Strings, which is a really great movie. Highly recommend that one as well. In the panel, they talked a lot about the different technical stuff, like the color scheme they're going for, the lighting, how important that all is. I know what, I just said his name, what's his? Travis Davis. I'm sorry, if you're watching this and you're Travis Davis, I apologize. I don't forget about you, I just forgot your name. Anyway, he was talking about how he doesn't want it to get all muddy when the characters are fighting each other, because sometimes you're like, who's fighting who? So he wanted to make sure that he used the color schemes to show, okay, so the good guy's fighting here, the bad guy's here, they're fighting each other, we know what's going on, which I absolutely love that stuff. Also, if you have seen the trailer, it looked like Starscream was in there. I'm here to tell you, it wasn't Starscream. It was, in fact, Blitzwing. He's gonna be the villain along with Shatter and Dropkick. So if you're familiar with the franchise, you'll know who they are. But I'll have the link to the trailer in the description again, so you can see it for yourself. This movie is also kind of like a coming of age type of movie, has that kind of vibe to it. So that'll be interesting. I'll probably go see it. I'm going to start talking about the DC superheroes and what Warner Brothers has in store for them, because they dropped a ton of trailers. Some looked really great. Some of them, in my opinion, not so much. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So first off, I'm going to be talking about the movie that everyone's talking about, Shazam. So the trailer for Shazam has dropped. It looks like a really fun movie. It seems like they've really caught the essence of the character from the comics into the movie, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a fan of live action DC movies. I'm not, they're just not good. The character isn't really there. Like, what they do to Batman, I can't stand this version of Batman. And yes, I am wearing a Batman shirt. I've never been so disappointed in a version of Batman before. But anyway, all my opinion, you know what, if you don't agree with me, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say about Ben Affleck as Batman. But I just don't like him as Batman. This is the end of the Zack Snyder era, they're calling it. So we'll see if the movies do get better, which if they're anything like what Shazam looks like it will be, I'm excited to see what the DC Extended Universe has in store. So Shazam will be the 7th installment of the DC Extended Universe. Dwayne Johnson is Black Adam, which is really cool. I love the guy. He's a great actor. I would love to work with him one day. And I think it's super cool that he's going to be playing the villain. Not quite sure how he plays into it, because I don't believe his character shows up in any of the trailers. I think it's only one trailer that dropped, but his character doesn't show up. I'm sure we'll see more of him in the next trailer that drops, or the one after that. David F. Sandberg is a director, Zachary Levi is Shazam, and Asher Angel is Billy Batson. What I thought was really cool was when the director started talking about how he auditioned hundreds and hundreds of actors for, or maybe it was just hundreds, not hundreds and hundreds, but it was a lot of people for Shazam. They sent in audition tapes, and he saw Zachary Levi's, and he was like, oh my gosh, he has caught the essence of a child. This is what I need. And it was cool for him to talk about the audition and how he casted Zachary Levi. And I always love it when they talk about how an actor has captured the essence of the character. Like how Stan Lee talks about Tom Holland, how Stan Lee's like, when I created Spider-Man, Tom Holland is exactly what I had in mind. And that just, it blows my mind every time I hear a story like that. Zachary Levi talked about what's it like for a superhero to be acting like a kid, because one of the kids in the audience had asked him about that, and I wrote down what he said. This is a quote, so I'm going to be reading it off, so obviously I don't get it wrong. Zachary said, "There are very few characters who are honestly super stoked to have powers and the responsibility that comes with these powers, but Billy Batson is just jazzed to have those superpowers, or those powers, excuse me." So that's really cool. Yeah, I know a lot of the movies are getting darker and darker and darker with superhero movies, because it's not what was 10 years ago, where it's just like, oh, superhero, bad guy, we're just gonna have a fight him out, superhero's gonna win. Now they're facing a lot of other problems that happen, which we have seen in both the DC and Marvel universe. Of course, we've seen it before in the comics, but not so much in the movies. So it's kind of cool to see that they are going to have kind of a lighthearted superhero, because I think we need them. We have a lot of dark stuff going on in the superhero universe in the movies right now, so I appreciate that, DC. Yeah, looks like a cool movie. It is set to release April 5th, 2019. They'll probably be releasing tons of other trailers, so make sure you watch out for that. The trailer will, again, be linked in the description. I'm probably saying that way too many times, but I just want to make sure you know that you can watch it and form your own opinion, not just listen to what I have to say. Moving on, we are going to talk about Aquaman. So Aquaman released their trailer. It was really cool. They showed off his suit. That was probably the biggest deal. But in the trailer, it kind of shows that the movie will be going into his backstory, kind of like what happened, how his parents met, how he came about, how he learned of his superpowers, how he doesn't feel like he doesn't fit in with either the Atlanteans or the people above ground, above water, all that. We do both. So that looks interesting. He seems more of a lighthearted character again, but with serious problems. Like I said, he doesn't feel like he fits in. He's never felt like he's fit in. He has to fight his brother for the throne, and then Black Manta comes in. So that'd be really cool to see how exactly that turns out. I kind of think I know how the plot's gonna go in that movie, but I don't want to spoil it for you if you want to just totally go in there not knowing anything except for what the trailer shows. So I won't go too much into that. The release date is set for December 21st, 2018. We're gonna go ahead and go on to Wonder Woman 1984. This one, I do not have a link to the trailer in my description because there is no trailer to link to. This one was an exclusive San Diego Comic-Con trailer release, because they're only a few weeks into production, so they don't have anything to release. But they did show a little clip of what the movie's going to have, and they haven't released that to the general public. So I just have what I've read, what people have said. So I apologize, but I can't do anything. What we do know is that Cheetah is the villain. It takes place in the 80s, obviously 1984. The director said that she is not going for the stereotypical 1984 vibes where it's fun, and then the colors, and then the outfits, and then there's this very, if you notice, there's a very specific kind of like aesthetic that movies nowadays that take place in the 80s are going for. The director said, no, we're not going with that. So that'd be kind of cool, because I feel like, actually I know that once we move on from a certain era or decade or whatever, we have that nostalgic feeling, and that's the feeling we go for, and we base the entire decade off of not necessarily what exactly was actually going on. It's like the 50s. You think, oh, it was fun times. We forget that the Korean War happened during the 50s. So it's kind of fun to hear that they're gonna be doing something different with that, because I know a lot of films nowadays take place in the 80s. Also, Chris Pine returns. Another one where you're like, how'd you get there? I think that's all I have for Wonder Woman. Again, I'll have the link to the panel discussion. There's no trailer to show you guys, so it'll be coming soon. They're only 4 weeks into production, so. Okay, so really quickly, I'm going to talk to you guys about comics, because this is a Comic-Con, not a movie con that has superheroes. What I could find out about comics was a lot of relaunches of the old comics. Well, not old, not necessarily like, oh, it's 50 years old, but anyway, I gotta talk about what I'm gonna talk about. One of the comic books that are being relaunched is Green Lantern. The writers, Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp, say that the comics will follow the life of Hal Jordan as this kind of space cop, like he is, Green Lantern. It won't have the stereotypical Green Lantern ending of an apocalypse, because we've been seeing a lot of that lately, and you're just like, we want something different, and so they're gonna give it to us. So make sure you watch out for that at your local comic book store. Also, another relaunch, Marvel Knights. It's their 20th anniversary. This comic book series will include Daredevil, Black Panther, Punisher, and Blade. Relaunching that, all kind of cool. But anyway, we are moving on from comics, because like I said, there wasn't a lot to really tell you about too much. The CW shows were pretty big. They had Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, DC Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning, Riverdale. The only one that I am caught up with is Riverdale, so I will be talking to you about that one. But for all the other shows, they had the cast there. They talked about the new season. I know some of them released clips, which I didn't watch because I'm not caught up on anything. I'm very behind on all my TV shows, except for Riverdale. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, so I didn't look those things up. I will try to find a link for you so you can watch those if you are caught up with, like Flash, Arrow, whatever you're watching. That way you can watch it in case you haven't missed it and you don't want to look it up. So, speaking of CW shows, and like I told you, I do watch Riverdale. I am all caught up with it. Finished season 2. If you're not watching this show, what are you doing? It's a really great show. My mom and I watch it, and then we try to figure out what goes on. Like, what's happening here? What's happening there? Who's the Black Hood? How is this going on? Don't want to ruin anything for you, so in case you haven't watched it, or if you haven't finished the second season, which is amazing. Okay, so if you haven't watched Riverdale and you plan on watching it, just kind of like skip over this little part, because I just realized that it does have spoilers. Anywho, they were talking about how they wanted to focus on the issues that normal teenagers face in the real world in their junior year of high school, applying for colleges, finding scholarships, going to internships, community service hours, all the really stressful things you have to go through when you're a junior in high school. If you're going to be a junior in high school, You're strong. You can do it. You'll pull through. It'll be hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was revealed that Betty will have spent her summer at an internship away from her mom and Polly, because this season will be focusing a lot on the farm and what goes on, because they've talked about it in season 1 with Jason and season 2 with Polly. So, well, all of it with Polly, how they were sent there, and now Polly's all of a sudden like, oh yeah, you should go to the farm, Mom, because it's great. And then the farm is like some sort of cult, and it's scary, very scary. Veronica is trying to juggle the whole high school thing along with owning a speakeasy that's now in Pops. I think it's super cool. Like, good for you, Veronica. I want to be like you. I want to be like you. Let's see, Archie. We all know, if you watched the end of season 2, skip this little part real quick if you don't know it. Archie is on trial, and they have talked about how Veronica and Archie's relationship will be going through the whole like long distance kind of thing, and how they'll have their own troubles. Very, very excited. Jughead's mom and Jellybean will be in episode 8 or 9, so they're gonna come in. I'm really excited to see what they have to do for that. I just started filming this season, I want to say 2 weeks ago. Moving on from Riverdale, moving on. Since we're talking about TV shows, I'm going to talk to you guys about, what's it called exactly? Marvel Rising Initiation. So that's going to be a new TV show on Disney XD, and it will feature Squirrel Girl, Miss Marvel, Patriot, Quake, and Spider-Gwen. So it's these young superheroes who have to try to make it in this big world of other superheroes and facing the responsibilities of being a teenager and being a superhero. They'll have a feature film called Marvel Rising Secret Warriors that will be released in fall. I think that's all I had on that. Like I said, that's all Marvel had to offer. No, that's not. I lied because there's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I can't believe I forgot that. I'm so disappointed in myself. I'm very sorry. But that one is very, 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 very cool looking. It follows, if you have not watched the trailer, it has Miles Morales. He gets these spider powers. It's like, whoa. And then, not sure how this happens, but they will show the other Spider-Men and women and characters. All the other spider people. Are they all people? They're not all people. I'll just keep saying characters. From the different universes. And Peter Parker comes in, and he's older. He's, I think, in his 40s in this one. And he's a mentor to Miles. And he's like teaching him how to be Spider-Man. And Miles is just like, yeah, I love being Spider-Man. And Peter's just like, yep, I remember being in that young and having those superpowers. They've talked a lot about how both characters learn from each other, but that wasn't like the really big reveal from San Diego Comic-Con. It was that Spider-Man Noir. Very cool. He's like one of my favorite versions of Spider-Man besides the original Spider-Man. Spider-Ham, which is great. He's going to be the comic relief. And Penny Parker will all be in this this movie. But they have Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man Noir, John Mulaney as Spider-Ham, and Kimiko Glenn, I'm sorry if I screwed up that name, as Penny Parker. So all seems very, 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 very cool. The release date for that is December 14th, 2018, so make sure you watch out for that, because I will be. Okay, so keeping with the kind of superhero theme I'm going with, and TV shows, there's going to be a new TV show called Titans, which are the Teen Titans. Let me tell you right now, this is not a kids show. It's not meant for young audiences. I will not have the link to that in my description, because I know I have younger viewers on this channel, and this content, the content in that trailer is not meant for you. I'm not looking forward to this TV show. I actually laughed a few times when I watched the trailer. It doesn't seem to capture the essence of the Teen Titans. And the Teen Titans is like, they're my superhero team. Those are the comics I read. It didn't seem that good. Yeah. I mean, the cool part was Starfire. Ugh, Starfire looked so cool. I would watch it just for her, except she had flames instead of, she's supposed to have the are they called star beams? It's supposed to be like the green she shoots out. It's like, I don't know, they stuck with like an orange theme, which I get, purple and orange go well together, but you can't just change something that's been there forever. Yeah, again, if you want to see that trailer, it's not hard to find. Just type in Titans Sdcc 2018, it'll come up. Moving on to Cartoon Network, which has some very, very big news pieces that I'm very excited about. The first one I'm going to talk about, which I'm going to start from least excited, which I'm very, 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 very excited for, to most excited, which I'm like super excited for. So, the first one being Cartoon Nexus, which will be an OKKO episode where it's a crossover from four different shows. It will, of course, have KO from OKKO. It'll have Garnet from Steven Universe, Ben from Ben 10, and Raven from Teen Titans Go. The reason why I'm not super excited about it is because I do not like Teen Titans Go. I think it is a terrible show, and I will not watch it. And I also don't watch Ben 10. I don't watch a new one. I did watch the original one that came out, and then what is it called? Alien Force? The one where they were older. I watched those two, and I think from that they had 2 other reboots, and I haven't watched them. I only watched 2 of the shows out of 4, so that's why I'm not super excited. But I am excited because I absolutely love KO from OKKO. I think he's a great character. He always fills me up with hope and warm feelings, and it's such a good show. And Garnet from Steven Universe. Love Steven Universe. I will be watching that. The next 2 I'm very excited for. The last one I'm super excited for. But this one I'm very excited for because I love Steven Universe. I'm a huge fan. I've been watching the series since it started. I think Cartoon Network puts out great content, except for Teen Titans Go and the latest Powerpuff Girls. And then, I guess, Ben 10. Whenever they do a reboot from something from my childhood, I'm just like, because usually they're making fun of the characters, and I don't really care for that, but all the other shows that they've been doing lately have been spot on. Love Steven Universe. Has been around for a few years, so I guess that technically doesn't count that much. But my new favorite obsession is Summer Camp Island, and I absolutely love that show because it's such a good show. It has lovable characters who are also relatable, not just lovable. They're relatable, they face issues, and they have that are like real life issues that me and you face in this world right now, in the present. While it's magical, they're on a magic island, and if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's on Cartoon Network right now. Go on and watch it right now. Cartoon Network is not sponsoring this video, so this is me telling you honestly to go watch it because it's so good. And I got off track. I love that show. But that's not what I'm very excited about. I'm very excited about Steven Universe the movie! They just announced it at San Diego Comic-Con, and it looks amazing. It did release a little teaser clip. It has a heart, and it shows the different characters, and I'll have the link to that in my description so you can see it firsthand instead of trying to figure out what the heck I'm talking about as I'm talking about here. And highly recommend that you catch up on Steven Universe before watching the teaser trailer. I mean, you don't have to because it doesn't give anything like too huge away, but Steven Universe, spot on. Rebecca Sugar, you know what you're doing. Very excited. So, the last thing I'm going to talk about, last but certainly not least, is Young Justice Outsiders. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited. I am a huge fan of Young Justice. When Young Justice first started, I was a lot younger. I mean, obviously it started a long time ago. That was before DVRs. And let me tell you, Young Justice, you have to watch in order. So sometimes I'd catch a episode and I'd turn it on because I really liked it, but I wouldn't know what the heck was going on. So a couple years ago I started watching it, and I just finished watching the whole series because I really like to take my time as I watch things. I don't like to binge because it doesn't all soak in. I don't get to think about what I just watched. So it took me a long time to watch the 2 seasons that are out, but I highly recommend the series. It's a great series. The characters are amazing. Season 3, they dropped the trailer. So excited. In the season, they're going to be fighting the issues of metahuman trafficking, where they're just kidnapping kids who have metahuman abilities. And so the team's like, nah fam, not my town. No, not like that. It's actually very, very serious. And then they're also going to be combating the genetic arms race, and which all of it, I mean, it's kind of scary because it all kind of like relates to things that are going on in society right now, which makes it scary, but super fun. Not fun. Super, I guess cool would be the word. Interesting, intriguing, are all more correct words. I am so excited for that. I love Young Justice. I tweet about it all the time because that show it just makes me so whelmed. So whelmed. If you don't know what that is, watch the series. Watch the series and you will know. That's something you have to check out. Like, you have to check out. Because that's going to be a good series. Cartoon Network, again, know what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing because I love what you're putting out there. And if you work for Cartoon Network in any way, please put in a good word for me. I would love to work with you guys. Oh! So that's what I'm most excited about, and I can't believe I forgot this because I'm wearing the earrings, but I guess I kind of forgot because it's not really news. It kind of has some news, but it's very, very sad. This is the end of Adventure Time, and if you're like me, you've been watching it the whole 8 years it's been on air. It's been, actually, it first started in 2008, so technically 10 years ago, but that was just the original short that they show, because they Cartoon Network, or any network in general, they play the first show just to see how it goes, and if people really like it, then they'll start production. That way the network knows that they're going to be making money. Obviously it went well, and 2010 they started airing the show, and slowly it's been getting, I guess, Finn's maturing, so the content gets, I guess, just a little bit more mature. It has deeper philosophical meanings. Like, if you watch the last Minecraft episode that aired, I think Friday? Yeah, Friday. That one was a fun one. It was interesting because it was a lot of randomness, and then it all, like, they tie up all the loose ends at the end, and it has this moral at the end, and I really like that. I like how the show has grown up over the years. But okay, so my camera died again. I need to charge it longer, but I charged it for a little bit so I can finish this. As I was saying, Adventure Time, it's very bittersweet that it's ending. I'm going to very much miss the show, but we have 287 episodes that we can look back on, or it might end up being 288. I don't know if that's counting the last one or if they're gonna have any in between. Very, very sad to see it go. The official date for the finale is September 3rd, 2018. It's gonna be called Come Along With Me, which is the ending of the show. It's the song that plays. It's the name of the song that plays at the end of the show. Sorry, that took a long time to get out because I haven't been talking lately because my camera keeps on dying. Yeah, it's gonna be sad, but you know, it's been a good show. They've had a good run. Yeah, anyway, so that's all the research that I have done on the San Diego Comic-Con. There are some very, very cool things that are going to be happening. We've got Young Justice, Crimes of Grindelwald, Shazam, Godzilla, all sorts of Warner Brothers, all sorts of Cartoon Network, a few things from Marvel, a thing from Star Wars, lots of things in the works. And I'm very excited for, and I would love to hear what you're most excited for. Maybe you're most excited for Aquaman. Maybe you're most excited for Cartoon Nexus. I'm excited to hear what you have to say. So make sure you comment below what you think. Like this video if you found this helpful, or there's a fly, I am sorry about that. Or like this if you found, there's a fly everywhere. It's like that Phineas and Ferb episode. Really appreciate if you like this video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I have lots of other videos. I really appreciate this. Give everyone over at the San Diego Comic-Con, Disney, Marvel, DC, Warner Brothers, Cartoon Network, all a good word for about me, and if they're interested in having another actress, a voiceover actress, someone who works behind the camera, an editor, a photographer, someone who knows Photoshop, someone who can talk for a long time in front of a camera, go ahead and let them know that I'm their girl, and I would very greatly appreciate it. Yeah, so closing this out, it's totally cool if you didn't go, because, you know, you got other things to do, and I want you to know that you are important, you matter, and that, hey, you woke up today, and keep going, you're gonna reach your dreams, you're gonna do that great thing that you've always been wanting to do, because I believe in you. And with that, I hope you have an amazing day, amazing rest of the week. I will see you next video, and until then, bye.